Hi, good evening to you all. Welcome to the Nature's Organic Terrace Gardening series 6, day 6. Today we are going to cover a main subject, that is pest and diseases management. What are all the pests it's affecting our garden and diseases affecting garden, how we can avoid, how we can prevent them, how we can control them, and we can manage them. This is the main subject. Today we are going to dive into it. Okay. Hi. Now we will directly go to class. Welcome to day 6. Today we are going to cover common pests and natural remedies for terrace gardening. In that, we are going to cover identifying common pests in terrace gardening and do it yourself natural pest repellents, how you can do natural repellents, and preventive care to maintain healthy garden. Because prevention is better than cure all, so as done that we are going to cover that topic also. See, pests and diseases are inevitable challenges in gardening, but they can be managed effectively with natural remedies. In this session, we will explore how to identify common pests, understand their impact, and use eco friendly solutions to protect your terrace garden. See, understand our environment, not your environment. See, pests and diseases are part of the natural environmental system. You should always all understood what is pest and how it occurs. See, we cannot totally eradicate the pests. These are all part of our natural ecosystem. In this system, there is a balance between predators and pests. This is nature's way of controlling populations. You know why we are developing, nurturing and preserving tigers in all our national forest program. So the creatures that we call pests and organisms that cause diseases only become pests and diseases when their activities start to damage crops and affect our yields. See, naturally we should have to have all these insects, pests and diseases. But when it starts affect our economic yield, we call them as pests and diseases, and we are trying to make control of them. In the natural environmental system, imbalanced, then one population can become dominant because it is not being preyed upon. The aim of natural control is to restore a balance between pest and predator and to keep pests and diseases down to an acceptable level. You just see, we cannot eradicate, but we can bring them down to an acceptable level. So the aim is not to eradicate them, as they also have a role to play in the natural ecosystem. Common pest in Indian terrace gardening. You can see either you are doing gardening in terrace or ground floor, and even you are doing farming also. These are all the major pests what we are going to cover. So kindly make note of it because this is very important subject. See, the pests are broadly classified into sucking pests and biting and chewing pests. In that, sucking pests are more dangerous, very smaller. That we are going to cover it now. Major pests only we are going to see with respect to our terrace gardening. Aphids. You know all aphids are small, soft-bodied insects found on leaves and stems, greenish to yellow color, pale green color, and you can very well see how they are moving. They are sucking their sap and they are causing the problem. Symptoms: curled leaves, sticky residue. These aphids are producing kind of there, you see here, you can see these sticky residues. This we call it as, this is aphids. This kind of sticky residues, you can see often ants are moving around to eat that residue. So you can identify how this aphids are affecting it. So second thing, so you should have to consider, you should have to identify between these sucking pests. That's why we are giving with images. Second one, whiteflies. You see tiny white insects that fly between plants and other things. When you are disturbing those plants are touching the plants, they will start flying. These are all called whiteflies, white bodied. And symptoms, how they are sucking the sap of plants and they are causing heavy damage in many crops. In terrace also, this is a main problem causing insect. So symptoms will be yellowing leaves and stunted growth, sooty mold formation. Sooty mold means again it's also kind of deforming wherever they are sucking. The inflorescence or leaf side, they will form as a complete little bit secretion and it will form as a sooty mold. So this is called white flies. And third one, mealybugs. This you might have all seen mealybugs. How it would be, you see soft-bodied insect, it will be making in a cluster way. Ants will be going in and around them to eat their fecal pellets. So cotton-like pest found in clusters on stems and leaves. Symptom, sticky leaves and plants will be very weak. And you can very well see all flowers will be affected. So it can be easily identifiable. Thrips. This is also major pest in especially chilies, all flower crops, and many fruit crops. See, they are very tiny insects. You can see often very well on the back side of the leaves. On top of the leaves, you can found yellowing symptom would have been started, slow yellowing symptoms. You have to see back side of the leaves, then you can find these small insects. There will be blackish or a dark brownish insects that found below the leaves. Symptoms: yellowing leaves, stunted growth, leaf clustering, deformed buds. Majorly, you can observe in the flowers. So that flower buds will be deformation would be there, and leaves will be curled. Small black dots will be, and that black dots are their fecal pellets. You'll have to see, and you can very easily identify. And second thing, this we have seen so far sucking pests, which suck the sap from the leaves or flowers, by which it creates problem to plants. And here we can see mm, chewing and biting insects. They are categorically in majorly we are dividing into two. One is caterpillars, another one is fruit and stem borers. Caterpillars, you can see how many types it is there. You see in the top portion, these kind of caterpillars would be there, soft bodied, and they will start eat leaves. And sometimes they may eat voraciously. It may cause create damage, but you can easily identify and you can control it. Holes in leaves, defoliation. And fruit and stem borer is the major issue, especially for the fruit bearing tomatoes, brinjals, and even many other our terrace gardening thing. See, withering of terminal shoots. Terminal shoots mean the shoots will get damaged and they will start withering. Dead heads, bore holes on shoots and fruit. That fruit will be plugged with the excrete of those stem. But you should have to clearly observe in the beginning itself, when they are in smaller size itself, you have started observing one or two fruits or shoots are getting affected, means by the time itself you should have to have control, otherwise it will create a major damage. And some minor insects. Leaf miners, the insects in which the alvar stage lives in and eats inside the leaves. You can see these kind of symptoms. These are called leaf miners. So this is not major in pest, but you should have to observe what are all those things so that you can know how these pests are creating issues in our gardening plants. And spider mites, this is major thing you might observed in many plants and even fruit trees. So what you should have to do is, you'll have to observe these mites. Normally people would be knowing red or yellow in color, sap feeding mite that exist in colonies. It will be clubbed, web formation would be there, and they will also suck the plants and create deformation and everything, webbing and yellow brands, even eventual leaf loss. And in heavy infestation, the plant may even die due to mite infestation. So you should observe and find those insects also. So, what is the impact of pest and diseases? You all know this is mainly economic loss. One is damage to plants, reduced photosynthesis. Due to that, damaged leaves and reduced due to reduced photosynthesis, we can very well see yield reduction in plants. Plants will become weak and more susceptible to diseases. Spread of diseases. See, this is main thing, especially aphids, all sucking pests majorly. They will spread main virus and bacterial diseases from one, especially viral diseases from one plant to another, because these are act as a vectors, many fungal, bacterial, or viral infestations. So prevention is better than cure. If you are curing or preventing occurrence of these pests, mainly sucking pests, you can have better control on your diseases also. So make note of it, and you should have to do in proper observation and control. Impact on yield, that you would be knowing. Reduced flowering and fruiting due to stress on plants will finally lead to the less yield. See, how, rather, when we are talking about organic terrace gardening, not only organic terrace gardening, in any gardening or farming, the main thing is we have to see how we can prevent those pests and diseases. Rather controlling them after it occurred, whatever we are doing, that will that may result well or not. But it would be always advisable to keep prevent those pest and disease occurrence in our garden properly on time. Means definitely it will be good for us, even by economically and viably. See, the things are, we have narrated the points how, healthy soil. We should have to use nutrient rich, well drained soil to promote healthy plants. Sometimes, when why we are saying is, if you are not using well drained soil or some other infected soil, means they may carry pests, eggs or eggs and all. So what will happen? Those will definitely spread again. So that's why in the initial soil and water management section, I have already told you to make use of polarization. You keep spread dry on sunlight, so that those eggs and all get damaged, eggs and all get destroyed, so that the soil would be sterilized. Second thing, crop rotation. Avoid planting the same crop in the same container repeatedly. If you are growing one particular plant in one container, you should change next time different plant in the same in the container. You should not use the same container, same soil mix continuously. I always advise you to, once the crop season is over, you remove all roots, everything, and mix together all the soil, and again you do it polarization and do some treatment and again refill it, so that you can be very well maintain the soil and cleanliness. Companion planting, this I will show in another slide also. See, grow pest repellent plants like marigolds, basil, and mint alongside vegetables. These will repel those insects which causes issues or a problem to our naturally grown plants. So that if you are using, it occurrence may reduce. Second, final thing, regular monitoring and practices. I always informed you in every session, daily basis. In the early morning hours, you just watch the plant, go near the plant, you see the leaves, any malformations or any differences from previous day to today. You just see any pest infestation, and you just pass your hand around the plant, and you can observe any sucking pests are there, like that. Once you are just slightly touching or shaking the plant, if any insects are there, they may fly. You can observe those things. And maintain cleanliness. Always maintain clean garden. Remove dead leaves and weeds that can harbor pests. This should be your usual practice. Every 15 days once or weekly once, whenever you can observe those kind of dead leaves, you remove it and throw it away or destroy them off. And second part, how we can have control of these pests and diseases. Beneficial, we can use beneficial insects and plants to attract for better pest control. Here we have shown four varieties of major predator insects: lacy wing fly, ladybird beetle, ground beetle, wasps. These are all mainly these ladybird beetle will control all these whitefly or aphids or mealybugs, whichever they are grow just to those nymphs and insects they will go and eat, and by which it will reduce the population. And lacewing fly also will eat all those eggs and see that the early stage insects, nymphs and all. And wasp will take these caterpillars or worms and eggs for feeding its offspring, so they will have better control. Ground beetle will eat all soil based eggs and other insects, infants, everything. No, they will eat and they will destroy those them, by which we can have better control. Ladybugs and lacewings feed on aphids and whiteflies. Use natural encourage birds and predator insects to visit our garden. And compost tea. And one more main tip is spray compost tea on plants to improve their immunity against compost tea is nothing but when you are making compost, you will get some kind of slurry. You just filter those slurry and make it as a liquid formation and spray on that. Those compost, that the decoction or tea which made from the compost is called compost tea. That will give more immunity to the plants to resist the pest and disease occurrence. Here we have very broadly mentioned what are all methods for pest and disease control. Here we have already discussed the healthy soil, healthy crop. If you are maintaining proper nutrient management, the proper pest management, healthy soil, the crop would come healthy, and you should have to use resistant varieties and crop rotation and grow bags or planter rotation, good hygiene, cleanliness. Soil tillage means every time you should have to do properly. Once in a 15 days you should give soil aeration. We have already discussed we should have to do with fork and all. And we have discussed about soil pH, how we should maintain the soil pH. And timely sowing, you should be very specific sowing period. If sometimes season changes means it may occur more of insects and diseases. So we have already shared this sowing season schedule, that you can go ahead. And companion planting, we discuss what are all the plants you can grow, like marigold, mint and other plants all around the garden. And the barriers, yes, you can have some nets, mesh nets. Likewise we can do that. Traps are there. These traps already we discussed. We are going to discuss next which color traps. Sticky traps mainly, it is more than enough for our terrace garden. And we can have sometimes light traps are also there, that I'm not covering in that. And fly traps are there. And if you observe very limited in occurrence, you can handpick and you can destroy. Biological control, that I am not going to cover in that. Biological control is nothing but we have already discussed earlier biofertilizer class. What we discussed is this trichoderma viridi, pseudomonas and all. They will control mainly diseases. And some verticillium lacani and Basidiomyces will control nematodes. Verticillium lacani will control some kind of pest and diseases. That way we can have introduced this biological control. Will control those insects and pests. And natural pesticide, we that is called, we are going to cover next. And social prevention means you should always avoid bringing any disease or infected plants from different places. Before you are just bringing them, you should check for that any infestation is there in that plants and planting material. That is more important. If you are controlling or doing all those things, definitely you will have better control or prevention over pest and diseases. See, natural remedies, how we can control. Okay, after all these, the pest and disease have occurred. How we can control? Normal control is neem oil spray. Mix 5 ml of neem oil with 1 liter of water and a few drops of liquid soap, and spray on plants every 7 to 10 days to deter pests. This is one method. Always use cyclically whatever other things we are going to do. Every 7 to 10 days, you keep 10 days, it's a prophylactic spray, we call it as. That means before it occurs we are giving control. See, one time you spray neem oil, second time you spray garlic chili ginger solution, and third soap solution and tobacco decoction. This kind of lot of other tri leaf spray and five leaf spray, panchakavya, and so many things are there. If at all you wanted to know that, you just post message, we will share those kind of how we can make it. But broadly we can cover with these three solutions itself: neem oil spray, garlic ginger spray, that is blend garlic green chilies and uniform quantities, and soak in water and crush in water, and keep it overnight with adding little curd, and keep it overnight, and next day you strain it, squeeze it, crush it, and make those distilled so sorry, you may take that solution and apply by 3 to 5 ml per liter of water. You can apply on all the plants, though it will it's very effective against aphids, whiteflies, and caterpillars, sometimes for thrips also. For soap solution, second, see, these three methods you can do once in 10 days. Definitely these 10 days they will hold, so that you can have better control. So that each and everything you can do once in 10 days means you can prepare in your home and you can keep use of it. Mix 1 tablespoon of mild liquid soap with 1 liter of water. Maybe you can buy, already I have shared some links in the search list also. You can buy insecticidal soap spray, that also you can, soap solution, that also you can buy and you can make use of it. And tobacco decoction, soak tobacco leaves in water overnight, dilute and spray on affected plants. This is effective against chewing pest, that caterpillars and other things, or beetles, whatever it make infect. And the sticky traps we have already discussed in earlier classes. This yellow sticky trap will attract aphids, whiteflies very intensively. You should have to tie in 2 3 rows all around your garden at the level of plant grown plants, so that when they are passing it they will be attracted and they will stick onto it, by which we can control these insects, and they will be controlled by laying eggs and multiplication. This blue sticky trap is very effective against thrips. So when you are using these two kind of traps, you can have major control of this sucking pest. This is companion planting. There are many plants that can be grown to attract natural predators and parasites, which will help to keep down pests and diseases. Flowers such as marigold, mint, sunflower, sun hemp, as well as local legumes are useful attract plants. Flowers of herbs, vegetables herbs like fennel, dill, carrots, those plants will attract insects. Sometimes they will get infest on that. You can very easily collect and destroy it. Uh, this way also you can have better prevention. And with that, we are ending all pests and their management and their symptoms. Next, we will go to diseases. As far as diseases are concerned, there are majorly 3 to 4 diseases are mainly occurring in our condition. You only observation and identifying those symptoms are major thing, but this can also be properly controlled when you are preparing your soil mix. We have already to discuss that you should have to mix trichoderma, pseudomonas, and neem oil, neem cake, and bone meal, those kind of enriched soil as soil, along with that polarized, that is sterilized soil when we are using, that will 60% 50% control the diseases occurrence, soil borne pathogens. That's why we are advising to use cocoa peat mix also. And with that we will go to cover what are all the common diseases occurred. Powdery mildew, uh, This is white powdery spots on leaves caused by high humidity. During humidity time, it will cause kind of white powdery spots. uh, we love to see powdery mildew and downy mildew. Two types of leaf diseases are there. Powdery mildew you can observe on the top of the leaf, powder kind of deposits or formation spots, white colored. And downy mildew means you can observe yellowing on the top side, but when you are turning the leaves backside, you can observe the same powdery spots, small powdery spots. That is called downy mildew. Downy on the downside, it is there. It's called downy mildew. These two things are also majorly caused by high humidity and different fungus. So you should have to observe and have control on that. Blight, brown or black spots on leaves caused by fungal infection. You can see blight symptoms also I will show. And root rot, caused by overwatering and poor drainage. This already we have seen on the water management, that you should have to see if you are having proper water management, we will control it. That already we addressed that. And natural remedies for diseases. Baking soda spray. Mix 1 teaspoon of baking soda with 1 liter of water to treat fungal infections like powdery mildew and downy mildew. But you should have to do, like before occurrence itself. Periodically, if you have started using, we may control it. And turmeric solution. Add turmeric powder to water and spray on plants to combat bacterial disease. This is the thumb rule. Baking soda will have control on fungal diseases. Bacterial diseases can be controlled a little by turmeric solution. Common diseases in terrace gardening. These already we have discussed: the powdery mildew, downy mildew, blight, root rot. Natural remedies also we discussed. And here you can see the major observation of diseases. See, you see. Powdery mildew, you can see the white spots, white powder on the top. Downy mildew, you can see the yellowing symptoms, but backside you can see this powder kind of thing. This is yellow mosaic virus. This is another problem in tomato, chilies, and brinjal. It will cause. This is mainly spread due to whiteflies. So, if you are having better control of insects, you can have. But for yellow mosaic virus, there is not much control. But you can have this prophylactic spray. What we discussed, this kind of formation will there. Wilts, we have already discussed about wilts. Wilts are formed, fusarium wilts kind of wilts are there, mainly caused due to fungus and bacterial infestation. And this is also mainly formed because of poor water management. If you're having better control on that, you can have control on this damping off. I wanted to show yesterday class also, seeds and sowing. This is damping of healthy seedling, and you can see in the root zone, collar zone, it will just bend. This here you can see, this is mainly due to damping off. If you are using properly seed trays and cocoa peat without any infestation, it would be arrested. Majorly in seedling stage, it will affect those plants. So for this, you can have better bleaching of the seedling trays, proper treatment, and wash it, and you can place seeds and soil mix, so that we can have better control on that. This I wanted to show you. This is underwatered, overwatered, and this is regular plants. If you overwatered also, you can have wilts, and underwater also you can have drooping and wilts. So you properly do water management, as we discussed in our earlier sessions. So with that, we will have complete pest and diseases management, and I will be sharing all the links for this material where we can get it all: biopesticide, biofungicides, and these control measures and other things we have very well discussed in our future classes or future group or community postings. I will share each and every natural insecticide, how we can make it. We have discussed majorly for three varieties, three types of insecticide, natural insecticides, that we will go one by one. Also, I will start posting in all our channels, so it will be useful for you to prepare and use. And I wanted to do some kind of pest identification. This active your practical session. You can just identify the pest, which kind of pest it is, how it can be controlled, or what kind this. It's a like a predator or of pest. Like a plant affecting pest. You identify the pest and make note of it. So observe it and compare our session, and you just observe and make note of it. Neem oil spray, you do it yourself, means like take a neem tender or mid tender neem leaves and crush it and make pour water and soak in water and make use of neem seed kernels also. Crush it and soak in water 1 or 2 days, and again mix it, stir it, keep it, and just filter it and make use of those neem water and spray it. And you can even pour the water to the plants also. Sticky trap, that also you can do yourself. You make color papers, you can buy it from your stationery stores, and apply your glues on that and prepare it and tie it. You yourself can do those yellow and blue sticky traps. With that, I think we have covered all pests and diseases. We have identified what kind of pests and diseases, how those symptoms are, and I hope all you have understood well. And though you have all known, but I think a very organized way we have given this pest and diseases classes, it will be more useful to you. And other assets and our checklist and you know things, I will share it in the group, and in YouTube description also we can share it, and so that you make use of it. With that, we will end this class. We will end this session. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much.